This is Radar for On the Radar J blog, coming to another edition of Movie Reviews and Observations number 117. Was out of town for a whole entire week, so I only had a chance to watch one movie on the plane there. I watched the movie Shook. It was a movie with Bella Thorne, Paris Jackson, and some other people, and it was like, they kind of made it where it took place somewhat in the past, but of course, Flintstones was not that long ago. But she moves out to LA, they party somewhere, and they're given money and drugs. They want this actor wants them to sell the drugs, but this is what happens. They get robbed, the drugs and money are taken, and they got to figure out ways to get the drugs back or the money back because this actor took them from some drug dealer who's not someone you want to be messing with. So the whole movie is them trying to get the money or the drugs, and they decide, you know what, we'll pretend to be none. Because when she was a kid, her parents were religious or something, Bella Thorne's character. And of course, things go disaster with them doing it. People get killed, people get injured. So the whole movie is them like trying to make up for this. And the saving grace is only an hour and 20-something minutes with with credit. It was okay. It's something I would say you can put on in the back. I'm not going to go out of my way to watch that. Then I watched, when I came back from my trip, the first movie I watched was Assault on VA-33. And it's the typical Sean Patrick Flanery, Thomas Hayden Church, you know, you name it, like a white guy who's probably in his 50s right now, but they're portraying him to be in his 30s, maybe 40s, retired veteran. He's got all these skills, but it's all about the fact that it's coincidental that his wife works at the VA, but she's a different doctor, and he sees someone else. He happens to be there when people are trying to take over the building because there's some general and this like Russian bad guy wants revenge. So it's all a little bit cliche, and his daughter's in the car, and she's there. And Mark Dacascos is like one of the assassins. And Michael Jai White, who's also in a lot of these action movies that are on streaming or straight to DVD, he's like a cop in this movie. Usually he's playing like he's the main guy, or he's a vigilante or some whatever thing. And the whole movie I thought was pretty good for an hour and 27 minutes. Sean Patrick Flanery trying to save his wife and all the people and taking on all these bad guys and assassins. So yeah, like I said, this was a pretty good movie. It's a typical streaming straight to DVD movie, but yeah, it's actually something you can watch. Then I watched the movie Feral State, and just look at the cover. What does it look like? Oh, it's a blonde woman who they're saying is a badass detective or cop or sheriff, whatever it is. And you read the back. So the Misfit Games are taken over at like a charismatic father figure. Together they wreak havoc throughout the swamps and trailer park in Central Florida. Hot on the trails is the blonde woman, Detective Ella, a tough as nails cop with demons of her own. And the movie's only an hour and 20 minutes. You're like, okay, cool. I don't know why this movie was made. I don't know who wrote it and directed it and said, oh, okay. So yeah, Sunchaser Films, Dragonville Studio. Like, I don't get this. Like, what is going on here? Like, I just don't get it, man. Why was this movie made, Giancarlo? It made no sense. You think the movie's about a woman cop stopping these orphans who are going around town. But then you see there's a drug dealer. Then you see people who are stopping the drug dealers. And one of the actors, I just saw him in a movie a few weeks ago called Death in Texas with Bruce Stern and stuff. And that was a horrible movie, and that actor actually did a good job in the movie, but I've never seen him before. He kind of looks a little bit like Joaquin Phoenix. Point is, my roommate joined me for the movie because he thought, okay, you watched the Sean Patrick Flanery movie without me. I don't want to watch the other movies. Well, I'll watch Feral State with you because it looks like good guy going versus bad guy. There was barely any point of this woman introducing a lesbian relationship. The drug dealers, the bad drug dealers, the good people, religious cult. The movie made no sense. My roommate was like, I don't understand why this movie was made. The ending was abrupt. It was just, I don't know. Like, this is a movie that you could just throw out. Don't tell anybody to watch it on streaming. Nobody buy the DVD. Don't go to Redbox. Don't have your library buy it. Sorry, Naperville Library, but you should just throw this out. No one in this movie you've ever heard of. And the dude who I saw in the movie a few weeks ago, he was horrible in this movie. So it's like, I just don't get it. Then I watched The Unhealer, and I thought, okay, this would be interesting because we got Adam Beach, and we got the Brent Scammy Richmond dude, who I've seen in other movies. He's Native American, and the whole movie has this Native American element where Adam Beach, former living on a tribe, and tribal area, and he's now the sheriff. And it's about this kid who has an eating disorder where everyone makes fun of him for eating plastic and other food. They call him Garbage Kid, and he gets bullied and picked on. So it's a typical children's movie in a way, a teenager movie where the guy is bullied and picked on. This one girl's nice to him because he was nice to her. The family was nice, but they live in the middle of nowhere in a shack. And the whole movie's about like how his life is difficult and he's a loser in the movie. And then, lo and behold, this dude is coming to town as a healer. He's got these powers. And the whole point of the movie is the mother goes, "Can you save my son?" It's a scam. But when trying to save him, he gets the dude's powers. And the whole movie is about him getting revenge on his bullies and all this other stuff. And Adam Beach trying to mentor and save him. And like the dude who played the coach and the father of some of these kids, I've seen him before. So I thought the acting was good. The plot was interesting. Like a revenge, horror, supernatural movie with some good actors. But The Unhealer is definitely a movie you want to watch. I thought it was pretty good. The ending was interesting, but I would say it was pretty good. Then I watched the movie Shook, where this woman is like a fake. She's social media influencers where things are fake. And the movie starts off with like her watching her sister's dog, but she's thinking that the creepo across the street is harassing her and can't find the dog. Then they turn into, spoiler, her friends who told, "You should be here doing this social media with us instead of watching your sister's dog because you feel bad someone else died," or whatever the case was for your brand. But then you find out one of the girls who's a jerk or maybe sleeping with her boyfriend, she pulls this prank and everyone's involved in it, and then she thinks people are dead or kidnapped or people are dying. But then it turns into, no, her crazy sister who was watching her mother who was dying of like a Livingston disease, whatever it is, she has it and it's affecting her brain and her life. And she doesn't like that her sister chose the social media people she's friends with and not her sister. And the sister is like, "Nope, I paid your friends to do this prank, but it's not really a prank because they're all dead and you're going to die too. Blah, 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 blah." And it's just like, okay, really bad movie. Not as bad as a movie, but at least there was a plot. You think someone's getting you, but then it's not that person across the street. It's your friend. Oh no, it's your sister. Oh, no. All about social media and stuff, and at least it was only an hour, 20-something minutes. Then I watched Deliverance from Evil, and of course it was a Korean movie, so you've got to watch subtitles. And it was a little bit too long. It was an hour and like 40-minute, an hour 50-minute movie, and you're just like, it could have been a little, short. Plot of the movie is this dude is like a retired mercenary, because he's a mercenary, he's a retired guy who's working in the government, so it was like, he gets paid to kill people and stuff. And they're like, "We got one last job for you." He's like, "Okay, I'm out." Then he finds out that his he's supposedly the next of kin of this girl went missing and the mother's killed. And they don't know what to do with drugs and trafficking and bad guys. So he's out there trying to save this girl. Then he throw the element of some crazy psycho killer dude who they actually did a really good job in this movie. He's after revenge because this mercenary supposedly killed his brother years ago. And he's like, "Wow, this guy's out in public. It's my chance." So it was a good movie of like saving a girl, dealing with bad guys and the law enforcement trying to get after you, and typical great fighting scenes and action scenes. So yeah, a little bit too long and you have to watch subtitles, but I thought it was pretty good. Then I watched the movie Anything for Jackson, and Rotten Tomatoes said it was like 90-something on there. So I'm like, okay, 90-something minute movie, not that long. Second thing, Rotten Tomatoes said it's pretty good, and I thought the premise was cool. It was interesting. It wasn't your typical horror film. It was grandparents grieving their lost child, and they think the only way to bring him back is through some mythological, like, dark evil cult they join and saying all these rituals, so you need a pregnant lady to bring him back. So obviously, the movie is like kidnapping and supernatural and horror and all this stuff. And I think it was put together because the main dude in the movie, he's like a doctor, so he knows medical stuff. But of course, the movie is, everything just goes crap to hell because whenever you unleash, evil demons and stuff, or have someone try to help you who's dealing with that, pretty much like all horror film, like either no one survives or one person survives. And yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting, even though I fell asleep through it because I was tired yesterday. I rewatched the parts I missed. I thought it wasn't bad. But I feel like the best movie I watched was Assault on VA-33 because it's straight up, short movie where fat family got to save the day and had some good actors in there. The Unhealer, despite being a little bit weird and a little bit of horror for supernatural, Adam Beach and all the other actors, they made it a pretty good movie. Saving a child and all the action in the Korean movie Deliverance from Evil, that was good. Those are probably the three best. Anything for Jackson and Shook, I feel like they're movies you can put on a stream and go, okay, I watch a weird movie with actors I know, and then I watch a weird horror film. I just think, don't ever watch the movie Feral State. It's a waste of your time. Shook, you can put it on in the background, but, it's not worth your time. Thanks for listening to another edition of Movie Reviews and Observations, number 117. For On the Radar Today blog, I'm Radar. See you guys next time.